Hi there, it's Lori at Positive Things Living, and welcome to my craft room. This is part of the Declutter Organized 2025 collaboration between Dana K. White and Cara Brandon Creations. Now this is my little craft room. It's a bedroom, one of the bedrooms in our new place, and I have the joy of setting up a new craft room. Actually all of the items are things that I've already owned for a while, and after my last video where I created some cascading envelopes, I just left things the way they were. I didn't put anything away, so I thought I'd show you around the craft room and put things away. This is the closet, obviously, where my husband put up some extra shelves for paper, and that cart there is my sewing machine cart. I'll show you that later. And I have these two tall storage racks that were in our storage when we were traveling full-time with our RV. And I've discovered after watching everyone else's videos for the last 28 days that I really love the idea of drawers and wheels. So that's I'll show you some of my goals for 2025, and they include those two things, and I've learned by watching some of the videos. So I have two tables. One, the white one there that you see, is one that I have had since we were traveling in the RV, and this table that is a folding table, I used it when we were living in the apartment. We've had basically a decade worth of transitory spaces, and this is the first time in a decade that I've had an actual space that I anticipate staying in for an amount of time. So it's kind of fun to be setting it up. And I have these beautiful windows in front of me, full sunlight during the daytime, which is both a good thing and a problem. You know, if the sun's coming through and it's making the light shine on the work surfaces, that's a little awkward, but boy, do I enjoy the sun shining on my face. So I'm putting stuff away. Dana K. White, she talks about the first step in having a craft space work is having place to work. So between the two tables, the one I usually film on and the other one I work on, whether it's with the computer or whether it's making prototypes or whatever, I have created a spot for everything. The computer in the corner, I stream YouTube videos of everybody crafting, so I watch with those headphones on. And then in the two different spaces I work, just creating with paper or creating on the computer or doing work. So one of the things that one of the videos I watched was with Kathleen Moore, and she talked about a 3-tier scrap organization. And that's on my list of things to create because it made so much sense to my brain. And that box you see me putting the paper on top of, that's going to be the largest of the 3. Yeah. Now I bought these pockets to hold punches and paper and everything else. I have 2 of those hanging pockets that I think they're meant for shoes, but I've been using them for crafting things. And I've liked them so far. I may repurpose them for something else. I don't know. Do any of you have those hanging shoe things? What do you use them for? As you can see, I have rolls of wrapping paper there. And in the closet, I keep the extra paper. Most of the paper was originally from our daughter. I inherited many of her drawers, and I'm excited about those because, as I mentioned, I like the idea of drawers. I keep a bunch. That's my spot for rulers. So if I ever need a ruler, and my craft cart is a catch-all. Anything that I use that I need and it has to be at hand, it'll be in the craft cart. And having a huge trash bin, that makes all the difference. Those are the things that I made in my last video. And Yeah, they're cascading. I'm exploring cascade or waterfall elements of journals. That's the one I started with too many pockets, too many envelopes. And then I decided I'd start with 5. So I made 2 prototypes and then 3 in the actual video. I haven't decided what to do with them, so they're going to stay there right now. And the pin in the cloth there, that's my pin to unclog the glue bottle. And it usually stays in this glass glass container, shape of Texas. Embellishments, they go back in the closet, along with all that extra paper. So it's really an interesting experience trying to film holding the camera in my hand. It's not as easy as I thought it might be, and I have to stop filming at certain points to go get something down. Because as you can see, most things are on shelves at this point, in banker's boxes. And I'll show you what's in some of the banker's boxes. For example, the one I left open there. It's paper. And I've, book page. I've marked them all, the banker's boxes, with what's in them. But it's not organized within them, in the boxes or the drawers. Yeah, a few years ago, I took the quiz from Clutterbug, I think. She's a compatriot of Dana K. White. And there's different styles of organizing. Apparently, I am a ladybug. And that means I like having things in closed items, but they don't have to be organized within the closed drawer or box. Yeah, that's very much me. Having things out visually, it confuses my brain. I find myself becoming less creative. So having everything put away helps my creativity. So some of us are like that, and some of us need to see everything out. We're all different, but we're all part of one big community of crafters. Yeah. And on the top shelf there, I have some of the completed journals, and I'm not going into them regularly, so that's why they're up top. I'm not tall, so reaching up to the top shelf is hard for me. Not hard, but you know what I mean. It's less convenient. So now, putting away stuff. I'm going to be sending some of these items to people, so I'll put them to be done. And the card you see there standing up is a prototype for next week's video. And I have this organizational thing for pens. I don't know if I'll keep it out like that. I use it because it's there, but I don't know if that's the best use of space. It's funny how our craft rooms change. That was one of the huge takeaways that I feel I got from watching all the organizational videos over this last month, that no matter what stage we're in, we make it work for that stage, and we should be open to, recreating our space in the same way that we as ourselves, we change and we become slightly different people. Maybe more organized, maybe less organized, but yeah. So I didn't have to do as much decluttering because I've just moved into this new place. And when I moved, I did a lot of trash throwaway. And that's how inside the boxes, as you see there, things are kept. And then I just slide them back on the shelf. So I know where the items in general are, and I have to take down the box. And I realize the boxes work for me because it's kind of like having a drawer. They were the least expensive choice I could make. Now this table you see here, we had in the RV, as I mentioned, and we took the legs off of it and just had the cubby part. And I started with my very first box on the bottom. And it's gone from the RV to an apartment to a rental house, and now it's here in this space. And I'm working on it now more than I ever had. So while I was watching videos, I wrote down and made notes. And these are some of the things that I took away. And I'm going to make myself these cards and put them up in different places in the room to remind myself of things that Dana K. White taught, that some of you shared, like Kathleen Moyer, she talked about different aspects of how she organizes her things, and that really, I'll link to her video below in particular. The other person that made an impact on me was Cori Dahmen. She talked about a tall tool garage. And yeah, my tall tools, they're on the floor because there isn't anything where they fit at this point. So I have to figure out what would work for me. Right now they're just leaning up against these tables, and yeah, that's a little less helpful than what it could be. Crafting is a way of being, not buying. We need to shop our stuff. That really struck home with me. You know, clicking buy on Amazon shouldn't be as much fun as shopping in our own stash, right? Seeing what we have around, using what we have. So, have you watched any of the other videos? I encourage you. I'm going to link below to the actual list of all the different people who participated. Cara has set up a calendar where it notes those that have participated, and it'll take you directly to their video when you click on the link. And I'm toward the end. Obviously, this is the 28th that you're watching of January 2025. And it's been fun to watch other people's craft rooms. I mean, life is never simple, is it? We all have complexities, and we all have to deal with those complexities. But it works. We make it work. And crafting takes some of the stress out of life. So Dana suggests we get rid of the trash first, and then when we pick something up, ask ourselves, where would we look for it first, and where to put it there now. And if something gets filled up, put your favorites in first, and then perhaps donate the rest. And I really like the statement, finishing is decluttering. So when we finish a project, we can tell ourselves we're doing more than just finishing. We are also decluttering. I like that. Yeah. And the key to crafting is having space to work. Yeah. I'll link below to these cards if you're interested in having any of them for yourself, just for the fun of it. Yeah. I have space now in this room to work. I don't know how your space is working out. Has it changed? Does it need to change? I don't know. And yeah, getting rid of the trash. Need to do that. And I found her suggestion of putting things where they belong right at that moment difficult, especially if they belong in another room, but it makes sense. It really does. And we have to have a clutter threshold. The idea that only this much clutter and any more than that is too much. So I can understand that if it takes me longer than 5 or 10 minutes to put things back, then I need to reassess. So I'm going to work on my 3-tier scrap organization sorting and find a tall tool. Oh yeah, that's the box that I'm going to start with. So you can see what's in it now. It's all kinds of scraps, but I don't know where to start looking through that to do any sort of collaging. So her theory really rang a bell for me. And the tall tool garage and more drawers and more wheels. I'm going to show you some of my wheeled things in this room, and I realize I really like them. So, yeah. What sorts of things are you going to change in your room, or would you like to change? My favorite thing is this cart. It is a plethora of items, including the bags hanging. They're all little pieces of ephemera, stickers, specialty items, all my different scissors and things. This other cart, I think there's 10 drawers. Got that when I was in the apartment, and that was so helpful. And I've reorganized it since we began this organization challenge, and now I just have tools in there. So that's the heat embossing tool drawer, and this is just odds and ends of pencils and pencil crayons with the packaging underneath that sometimes we use when we're crafting. That's the book binding, and then all the bits and bobs that we add. String and some elastic. And those are closures. They're paper clips and things. That's all my painting stuff. And glue. The first place I go for glue. And more pens. And the top one are cutting implements. So that was helpful. I realized I needed to put them all in this rolling cart. And I'll often sort of create a horseshoe effect with the table that I'm sitting at and my craft cart and this drawer cart. So this tall one, it has wheels, and I love that. So this will probably stay in my craft room. But the one to the right here does not have wheels. And I think I would love to reorganize this with some tall Alex drawers with wheels on the bottom. I don't even know if those are available, but I've watched other crafters use those kinds of drawers, and so these journals that you're looking at there, I use those regularly. I'm working in them. And more banker's boxes, and you can see by the name of what's organized within them. For example, this is paint and glue, more glue. You know, we as junk journalers, we love our glue. And this was paint that I used the last time. So I know that all my painting stuff is in there, all the paint. But I'd like to have drawers, tall drawers there, on wheels, ideally. I have these drawers here. They're originally from my daughter, and different things, odds and ends, things I use most often are there on the top drawer, and the second drawer is embossing folders, dry embossing with the Big Shot, and that's cords and stuff that we need. And this, oops, there's one of my tall tools that need a garage. The scoring board. Those are the stamps, clear stamps, and those are the wooden stamps. Oh, and there's another tall tool that needs a garage. The buckets have fabric in them, and I'm not sewing as much as I used to, so I will have to go through them again. I went through them when we moved 2 months ago. And in here are the things that I grab most often. Paper, scraps, just edges of things, and the Big Shot at the bottom. And if you see, there is another tall tool. I need a place where they go, maybe on wheels. Who knows? I have that desk there, and it's not the most useful item, but it was my mom's desk, so it has sentimental value. And then this set of drawers, these two ones, I think they're originally from Michael's. They came from my daughter. She decided she was happy to have all her crafting things live at my house. I was happy too. When we got out of the RV, I had more space in the apartment, and even more space now that I'm here. So, drawers with stickers in that. And within my closet, I keep this table, and it is also on wheels. So I can bring it out, put it back, and it fits through the doorway beautifully. No problem at all. Now, when I first did an organizational video for Cara a few years ago, I'll link to that below. It was about my die cuts, and I kept them in a binder then. Now I've switched to a hybrid. I have 2 binders. That's one, and the second. So less in each binder, so it's not as heavy. And I keep them on the shelf that's at hand. But I also keep some. I've started using these pockets, and I don't know if it's going to work for me. Maybe if they were in a drawer. I don't know. I'll find out. I'll check in with you a year from now once I've decided fully. These are bigger. Yep, I'm not sure I'm going to keep them like that, but it's a way to begin. And that's my die storage. So it's both the same and different. This is my setup when I'm trying to work. I have the big garbage to my right, and then the tower of drawers, and then my craft cart. And here I'm just sorting through the paper in preparation to make my 3-tiered thing. Scrapbook items so that I can do collaging more easily. Right now I don't do a lot of collaging because it would be too complicated to pull everything out of that one big box. So having a box, yeah, I've cleared off the table, and my next job in the next coming weeks are to find 2 smaller boxes that'll fit into that big one. And I usually keep this tray right there on the top of the tower of drawers. So I want to thank you for joining me in my craft room. I'm going to be working on that stuff, and I'll show you along the way if you're interested in the videos. I try and put out a video every weekend. And the last thing that I do is I keep a Swiffer in my craft room. My husband kindly tore out all the carpet and put in a floor like this so that it'd be easier to clean. And it has been a delight. So I just sort of bring everything over to the big garbage can. And then I stop and make sure that everything that I've gathered is stuff that I really do want to throw away. And oftentimes there's something that I've dropped on the floor that, yeah, I don't want to actually throw away, like this little sticker. Together we make a family, a crafting family. Yes, we do. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to spending time with you again sometime. Take care. It's Lori at Positive Thanks Living. Bye for now.